Hello and welcome to the Daddy of Them All podcast, where we celebrate the people, places, and traditions that make Cheyenne Frontier Days more than just a rodeo. It's a way of life. I'm your host, Tara Vreeland, and we're giving you a first look at the 2026 Cheyenne Frontier Days celebration, one of the biggest ever. This milestone year will honor America's 250th anniversary with Day of the American West, the Year of the American Indian, and the grand opening of the Morning Star American Indian Village, all alongside the world's best rodeo action and chart-topping Frontier Nights concerts.
A part of Western history, a legend walking tall. Cheyenne Frontier Days, the daddy of them all.
2026 will be a year that celebrates who we are, where we've come from, and the legacy we continue to build right here in Cheyenne, Wyoming. So let's start with the heartbeat of it all, the arena. And joining me first is the CFD CEO, Tom Hirsig, and Foundation board member and former PR chairman, Bob Budd. Hello, you guys. Thanks for being here. I can't believe we're already talking about the 130th Daddy of them all.
Here it comes.
Yeah, I bet it is. So it's going to be a massive rodeo year. We've got the new Shoot 9.
Right.
We have the new Morning Star American Indian Village, and Extreme Bulls
Right.
was just named the 2025 Event of the Year, and fans are already buzzing. So when those gates crack open next July, what can we expect, Tom?
Well, I think the Extreme Bulls, for the people that went to it this year, this was the first year that we produced our own bull riding event. The people that went, I think they were just floored by how good it was. And for us to win Extreme Bulls of the year, being a first year event, that's pretty incredible. And that's voted on by the contestants. So they really liked the crowd at Cheyenne and the energy that we brought. So, I mean, if you want to come to a true bull riding, and that's what it is. It was fast paced. Doesn't last. I think it went for like an hour and a half on a Monday and Tuesday night, which is a great time frame for people to come, bring their families, and be entertained for an hour and a half constantly. It was a great event.
It was fun, and the fireworks were a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
And then you had Manny jumping over the bulls. I don't know how many people were having heart attacks, because I certainly did.
He's incredible. If you haven't seen him jump those bulls, he's incredible.
Yeah, that was pretty athletic, though, even though we were holding our breaths during that event. So, Cheyenne finds a way to get bigger every single year. I don't know how you guys do this. It gets bigger and bigger, but it still feels like that authentic old school rodeo that we all grew up with, different generations. So, Bob, on top of the rodeo action, we're celebrating America's 250th. Now, tell us what the Day of the American West is going to look like for us when we celebrate on July 23rd.
I think it's going to be fantastic. And I think it's a real testament to Cheyenne Frontier Days that that's what was picked to celebrate the Day of the American West. It's not just rodeo. It's not just ranching. It's our heritage culture and of the Native Americans. Clearly, Morning Star Village opening this year is going to be a huge draw for that. But a lot of people don't know that we also, for years, have had a wild horse auction at Frontier Days every year. This one will be bigger. There will be more horses. We're going to have all kinds of dignitaries who are already said, my schedule is set. I'm going to be there. We're talking the Secretary of the Interior, the Secretary of Agriculture, directors of the Bureau of Indian Affairs, Bureau of Land Management. There are more jumping on as we go. We'll probably have a lot of Western governors that join us as well. But I think it's fitting because the history of Cheyenne Frontier Days goes back to the railroad, the military, the native cultures that were here, rodeo, and the community of Cheyenne and the state of Wyoming. So it's going to be I think it's going to be a knock it out of the park day. It's going to be crowded and it's going to be busy, but it's going to be really cool.
So planning has been going on for quite a while then. Are there any surprises or things you are keeping under wraps?
No, at this point, I think what we know, we're happy to share. Clearly, things change, and Tom knows this as well as anybody. Day to day, things will change, and we adapt. I mean, that's one of the beauties of Frontier Days is we can adapt on the fly, and we do. And I always think of the old Hyatt's brothers used to tell me, Bob, you got to be like a duck. And I say, calm on the outside and paddling like hell underneath. And I think that's a pretty good description of how we do it.
Yeah, I like it though. But as long as you have, like you said, floating on top and making everything run seamless. And a lot of people don't realize that it takes more than a year to plan the next event. So how do you keep topping it year after year between, we have Shoot 9. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. I think it's just our organization, from the volunteers up through to the staff to the board of directors. It just, it's all the great people in the community of Cheyenne that pulls this off, and they're so dedicated and so passionate about Cheyenne Frontier Days that everybody wants to be better every year, and we do. We always have surprises along the way. Sometimes they come up, uh, last minute. So when you show up, it's always not planned out. There's always a surprise on the way. But the shoot nine, it's going to be incredible. It's going to be, it replaces our old shoot nine, which is right. Above our rope and shoots. And it's going to be a kind of a VIP experience. There's boxes up there, but the whole rooftop is a seating area, which, is going to have a bar up there and restrooms. And so it's going to be a great, we've never really had great VIP experiences for the public for the rodeo. And that's one of the things we've kind of focused on in the last few years. So this is going to be truly one of the greatest things about our rodeo. One of the things we talk about too is the Remuda Award. That's a huge award that Cheyenne Frontier Days won this year.
You worked really hard for that too.
Well, Stay Smith, and we got help from the community. Doug Samuelson helping us with that land and being able to take those bucking horses off site and letting them rest, and where they don't have to listen to the concerts every night and then work the next day. If you've ever gone by those horses, boy, they're happy out there. It's a great place. They're rodeoing just like the cowboys. They're on the road all the time, going to different rodeos. So coming to Cheyenne is a place they get to rest. And so winning that Remuda Award, where it's the best bucking horses of the PRCA, that's a huge award. And that's hats off to Stay Smith and Doug Samuelson for really making it. The horses have a great experience at Cheyenne.
And it keeps them happy. They're healthy. They probably buck harder because they had a good night's rest, just like you're talking about. So I think that means a lot to the cowboys as well, because they know the horses are happy, and it makes for a better ride.
Absolutely. And if you haven't been to our rodeo, the sudden death format is just, I think it's incredible. I think anybody, even if you don't understand rodeo, you understand winners and losers, and our rodeo is you win that day or you go home. So they don't have lots of second chances at Cheyenne Frontier Days. So it is truly a sudden death format that really is exciting to watch.
Yeah, that's so exciting. And then there's no bad seat in the arena. So it's exciting that you're going to have shoot nine, that different experience. I know we all love tradition, and it's going to look a little different, but it still offers the same incredible experience that Cheyenne Frontier Days offer. Can you believe that we're already going into the 130th?
Well, having been there for most of them, no, I'm kidding. It is hard sometimes to think about that. When the 100th was huge.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's the 110, 120, 130. It says a lot about the community, and it says a lot about the volunteers, and it says a lot about the folks who put all their heart and soul into producing the world's greatest rodeo.
In relationship to the 250th, we've been around for over half of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty incredible.
All the changes and the history, and then growing right alongside it as well. So that's going to be a huge celebration. And then I know we're celebrating the Year of the American Indian. I talked to Mo Brings Plenty a couple of months ago about the exciting part of that in the new village, and that's been underway for a while. So how is that taking shape for you? What do you guys feel in your hearts about that?
Well, I think if you drive by that Indian village, what shocks me is how big it is. I mean, it's not just a little everyday Indian village. It's our dance arbor seats 750 people to watch the Indians dance out there. We have great new vendor space. We're going to have food trucks in there, and it's all going to be by Native Americans. So, that to me, I knew what was coming, but when you finally see it, it's the magnitude of that thing is incredible.
It's going to be beautiful, and it's going to be a huge draw. It's not going to take away from the rodeo, because you also have something else brewing for the rodeo this year that we haven't quite gotten to yet, but I wanted to talk about adding another performance.
Yeah, so we're adding a Friday performance on, and most of the reason that we're doing that is, we've had requests for something to make a complete week, 2 weekends at Cheyenne Frontier Days. We usually, the night show kicks off the show on Friday night, and people want to come for a complete weekend and they want to see the rodeo. So we're gonna answer that, and the rodeo has been so good and so popular that adding another day on, I think, is going to be great for people.
Yeah, how does the PR feel about that, PR committee?
Oh, it's good. I want to go back to the Indian village, because I think that it's always been one of the kind of well-kept secrets about Frontier Days, and the fact that It's genuine. The historic aspect to it, the storytelling, the flute playing, that all of those things are huge. And unless you go and experience it, you don't realize what a tribute it is to our Native American partners, number one, but also that it carries on the history, the language, all of those things that are so important now in Indian country. And having this giant village, which it is impressive. I drive by there almost every day going to work, and I've just watched it and thought, wow. But the ability for us to use that 12 months out of the year and to become an actual Plains Indian cultural center, there is nothing like it anywhere else. And I think that early on the vision was, well, let's move the Indian village so that we don't get all the drainage water in our venue. And then it grew and it got to the point where this can be unbelievably compelling.
Mhm.
And it is. And I think when we get that opened and people see it, it's going to be a huge draw. But it's so good because it isn't just a let's go watch Indians dance thing. It is the history, the culture,
Mhm.
the future of those nations. And I think they're excited about it. I know. And I'm excited. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, and it was already a huge draw. It's going to be an even bigger draw
Right.
now. It's great for families, and I think
Yep.
you can't miss it at this point. So we say it's a secret, but it's not a secret anymore, especially celebrating the Year of the American Indian.
Yep.
Well, as we celebrate America's 250th and the 130th Cheyenne Frontier Days, all of this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. We have patriotism, Western heritage, and rodeo colliding into one big event. And, what are you most looking forward to next year?
I always look forward to seeing my friends, the volunteers who put this show on. It's 3,000 people. Some of them you see all year long. Some of them you see only for 10 days. But a shout out to them. That's really the heart and soul of Frontier Days. And what people don't realize is that when you meet somebody or they give you directions or they help you out or they're a volunteer. They're taking time off from work to be there to promote our community and promote the Western heritage. And they do a phenomenal job.
Yeah, so you always see all your friends, the people who come back
Yep.
year after year. And I know you look forward to that too, because we could not do this without those volunteers.
Absolutely, Don. That I think the favorite part and what I look forward to is, the entertainment value of Cheyenne Frontier Days. It appeals to everybody from age 1 to 100,
Mhm.
and I love to see, the kids that for the first time they see the Indian dancers and just their responses. But I also like to see that older generation that comes, that especially like people that maybe grew up in the Western way of life, ranchers and stuff that show back up at Cheyenne Frontier Days to get a taste of the West. Those are my favorite things about Frontier Days.
No, and I think we could go on and on about our favorite things, and you continue to add things that make it grow. So thank you so much for being here today. We have so much more coming up talking about the 2026 Cheyenne Frontier Day. So thank you so much for being
Yeah.
here,
Thank
and
you.
we'll see you guys in July.
Part of Western history, a legend walking tall. Cheyenne Frontier Days, the daddy